purge them. And how we do that is we just get a bucket of cold water. We rinse run cold water through them for a little while to rinse the external sand off.
Now it's dead.
And then, as these are living also, as they go to breathe, once we put them in the water, they'll choke a little bit because it's fresh water, not salt water. And they'll spit out their sand that they have inside them. So that's called purging. A lot of people don't do this, which is why you sometimes get clams and they're gritty. This is, going the extra mile and going the extra step to make sure the guests or we have a grit-free lunch. These are tough. These aren't meant to have like steamer clams. These are sometimes called chowder clams, cherry stones, top necks. These are best for baking, pulling out, frying, chowder. Who's making chowder? Sean. That's what you would use. These are called little necks. Little necks are about the largest clam I would use for steamed clams, either appetizer or entree. And then down in size from here all the way to what they call a manila clam, which would be the size of a thumbnail. Real small, very delicate. The thing with these, again, you want to purge these as well. Clams and mussels and shellfish are always shipped with these tags. These tags are a must, and we have to keep these on hand for 90 days after we purchase the shellfish. And what this is basically a roadmap that if anybody has any issues like foodborne illness, or if anybody gets sick from eating the seafood, they can trace it back to the source. Right? So there's always checks and balances, and they can go to the source and say, hey, there's a problem with your water, or something like that. Now it's a rarity that this happens. More prominent in oysters, different tides and things like that, washing in and out. Oysters, clams, mussels, all come with the tag attached. And I'll leave it up here if you want to check it out. It'll tell you where it was harvested. These were actually harvested in Virginia. It'll give you the harvest date. A bunch of different information on here. Sold in 50-count bags. The mussels, again, the same thing, come with a set of tags. And the deal with mussels, again, these are alive too. If they look like this and they're broken, they're garbage. Throw that away. If they're in love, these, if they're open, they're breathing or just chilling out. You just want to squeeze them and make sure that they close. They'll close on you. Mussels grow on ropes in bays or oceans or shipping containers or whatever. They attach themselves by these little hairs called a beard. We call it a beard. These little hairs will wrap around the rope, and then literally the life of a mussel is sitting on a rope filtering water until we harvest it and eat it.
It's a very boring life, so to say.
Wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Chad, look at the marbling on it.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Short, just on the long bone. Look at that.
Be a nice day tomorrow.
Oh man, it's gonna be good. All right. Okay. So that's how you break them down.
You can't really see them too well from where you're at, but a small amount of fibers, hairs. We grab those and rip back towards the hinge, called debearding mussels. Not rocket science. We rinse these and pull the beards, and they're ready to go. All right. PEI mussels is what these are called. Most of the time, they come from Prince Edward Island, which is Nova Scotia-ish, north of Maine. That's cold waters, clear waters, clean waters.
The sand, there's no...
No, they live on a rope. There's no sand. It's not gritty. The only cleaning technique here is pulling the beards off. If you're cooking clams or mussels and they don't open, throw it out. Don't take any chances. They're cheap. It's like $1.95 a pound. Wicked cheap. Clams are a little bit more expensive, where these are probably about 30 cents a piece. Not too much. These are a little bit more. Lobsters, how much were the lobsters, Gabe? $9.95. So $10 a pound. These are 1-pounders, $10 a piece. Not too bad, but if you're going to sell them in a restaurant, you're already giving your minimum whack is 33%. So you're already having to charge $33 for this tiny little lobster. So that makes it pretty, and that doesn't include anything. That's lobster on a plate, without rolls and butter or anything like that. That's what makes lobster so expensive, is getting the full pot, the restaurant pot. So a lot of times, you see them use the chow. a lot of times you're going to see, like this lobster salad, there's more ingredients that are folded into it to extend it, so that maybe it's a little bit less expensive. And when we make our mini lobster rolls, there's really only going to be like 2 ounces of lobster, 2 ounces of salad, so you can get away with it. Outside of that, lobsters should come in live, packed in seaweed or wet newspaper to keep them moist, and they can live in the walk-in 5-6 days, no problem.
How can you tell a dead lobster from a live one?
They won't move. They'll be limp.
Really?
You don't want to eat a dead lobster,
Yes.
for sure. If it's dead, throw it out. You'll get sick. Last but not least, for our seafood, we have some beautiful cod loins that came in.
Those are skin off? Yeah.
Really nice. Very fresh. Cod is always what they call a J cut. They cut this V of bones right out of it. And you've got the loin and basically the belly piece. For our beer battered fish, we'll want to cut strips and have it smaller, not big hunks like this. But again, we've just some really nice fish. Cod would be definitely the #1 fish coming out of New England. All right. Any questions on any of this stuff?
Can you demo to Jeremy about the size that you would like the cod
Sure.
plates to be?
Yeah, when it's time to cut, we'll
All right.
cut these.
Cool.
And then I also want to show you, the only other demo I'll show you today is once I get my boil going, when we get closer to mealtime, I'll boil one and pull it, and I'll show you how to break it all down. When it's time to start breaking lobster, I'll pull everybody over real quick. It's a very specific set of ways to do it to get the most meat out of it. And so it'll only take 5 minutes or so for me to show you this. Any other questions on this stuff? So if you're using this program,
I have not.
what's that? I have knives. If you're using any of this stuff, let's get it cold. Take what you need, put it back on the walk-in. Because if you're steaming, that's later down the line. You get all your other mise en place together. If you're making fish and chips, we'll do the butchering. We'll portion size this stuff. If you're working with lobsters, well, we don't really need to work with them yet. Let's set up the boils. We'll do that right here. If you want to do a broiled lobster or anything like that, we'll just go ahead and get in there and rinse it. If anybody has any extra time, you can use mine. And then we'll go from there. Sound good? All right, let's remember, we'll shoot for 1:30, so you got about 2.5 hours. Use your time wisely. And there you go.